All right, welcome back. Well, it looks like the Democrats' prospects in November are going from worse to worser, if that's even possible. And it's not just the Congress they're likely to lose. It may be certain high-profile state races like the New York governor's race. Take a look at this campaign video from Representative Lee Zeldin.
Some say New York should just turn out the lights. Endless corruption, liberal crime policies, unaffordable living, people heading for the exits. But not Lee Zeldin, former 82nd Airborne, so surrendering's not in his blood. A fighter who's won 7 tough elections, dedicated family man, and a tax-fighting trusted conservative. It's time to save our state. It's time for Lee Zeldin.
All right, joining me on the program is the representative from New York's 1st Congressional District and now candidate for governor. All right, Lee Zeldin, what am I looking at here? Did you get the endorsement of the New York Post?
Hey, is that the New York Post?
Yeah, look at this good-looking guy right here. Look at that, right there, the New York Post.
That guy.
Congratulations.
There's a nice story on page 7. I can also tell he married up too. We are honored. I am honored to receive the endorsement of the New York Post. They've been at the tip of the spear exposing all of the crime in New York, the policies causing it. They know that the state's at a breaking point, and they're all in to help fix it. We've seen it with the Hunter Biden laptop story nationally and the ways that they've been censored and silenced and targeted with other issues impacting our whole country. So this means a lot. They really want to win this race.
All right, let's talk this race, because there's a couple things that I noticed. One, it looks like you're the presumptive nominee, but Tom Suozzi, who's also a member of the House of Representatives, I'm sure you guys know each other well from the New York delegation, he's running a primary against Kathy Hochul, but he's running as a more moderate, dare I say, as a moderate to conservative Democrat. When he was the county executive for Nassau County, he cut spending, he sought to cut taxes, he didn't exactly act like a big-time liberal, and I see that a lot of the big-time liberals want him out of the race, but it does seem like the energy is at least from the center to the right, not the hard left anymore.
Oh, the Democratic Party primary base in New York is just continuing to go further left. You have a lot of Democrats who feel disenfranchised by their party. They don't relate to the likes of Bill de Blasio in the city and AOC and some of these New York City-based politicians. From Andrew Cuomo to now Kathy Hochul, our 3rd lieutenant governor now in the state in under a year, and all sorts of scandals and corruption. It has a lot of even Democrats looking in a different direction. Tom Suozzi comes into this race. One of his higher profile issues is the desire to have a major overhaul of cashless bail. He is running to the right of Kathy Hochul, and the Democratic Party in many ways is rejecting Tom Suozzi because they even feel like Kathy Hochul isn't acting far enough to the left. That force continuing to go further and further to the left is also getting this state further and further out of touch, and also getting us closer and closer to a breaking point.
You know, look, I lived upstate, I worked upstate, I went to college upstate. I understand the complaint from upstaters that it seems like, New York City kind of picks the governor, which is why you've had so many downstate governors. But Kathy Hochul is an upstate politician who nobody likes anymore upstate. You're a downstate guy who's got a lot of support upstate.
Yeah, for Kathy Hochul, I mean, she's a walking identity crisis. She's in over her head. She's not up to this job. And people from Western New York who've known her, they're the ones who are most upset because she's not acting like the person she was always known to be. She made a name for herself by opposing driver's licenses for illegals. Now she says that she's evolved. She was an A-rated, NRA-endorsed member of Congress. Now she wants to enact even further the strictest gun control measures in the entire country. She says that she's evolved. For me, I'm a New Yorker. And I have found that in the area that I live in Suffolk County, that this is one of the counties outside of New York City where none of us are happy with the policies coming out of Bill de Blasio and New York City Democrats. So we're all in this together, regardless of what county you're from and what region you're from, in order to have balance of power and common sense in Albany. So I feel like we have our finger on the pulse of ways to reverse the attacks on freedom, safety, the quality of education, and certainly the economy. I just did a press conference about reversing the ban on the safe extraction of natural gas and approving new pipeline applications, while Kathy Hochul and the Democrats are looking to pass a new bill to ban all gas hookups on new construction statewide. We're just on the right side of the issues that matter most.
And there is a syndrome there. I remember years ago when I was a local host on WGY, a candidate named Kirsten Gillibrand agreed to come in and do an interview with me as a conservative radio host, and she told me what a conservative Democrat she was. She was pro-gun, low taxes, and all this stuff. And then she got elected. That as soon as she became a senator, all that stuff went out the window.
Yeah, that's right. And that wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't a natural evolution. It was a political calculation. We're seeing the same thing happen again now with Kathy Hochul. I was recently invited to her hometown where she grew up by a bunch of Democrats. They have always voted Democrat, but they're just so unhappy with how Kathy Hochul is acting right now as governor, pandering to these tax and spend pro-criminal policies. They just don't recognize her anymore. And I'm sure, Andrew, you saw the video of Kathy Hochul mid-March dropping the puck at Madison Square Garden, getting booed out of the arena. She is really, I saw it last weekend, by the way, at the Belmont Stakes, where she got booed when she got introduced there. So this is a consequence of not knowing yourself, not staying grounded, calling on New Yorkers to get a COVID shot, but to be her apostle. That's why she says that people should get the shot, is to serve her. People aren't looking to be ruled by emperor governors. We want to be in control of our government, and they will again, but it's by firing Kathy Hochul, not rewarding her with a 4-year term.
You know, in some level, you can almost not blame her. It's not her fault. Cuomo set her up to fail. Let's talk about taxes in the state. You've got people that are just picking up and moving, and they're going to Florida. They're going to low tax states. The Democrats have not been able to address this. Do you think you can get a tax cut package through Albany?
We have to. We have to cut taxes across the board. I believe that we can enact the largest tax cut in the history of the state. When I was talking about reversing the ban on the safe extraction of natural gas or approving new pipeline applications, moving forward with energy policy, this allows us to create jobs and generate revenue and revitalize communities, to create opportunity and drive down energy costs. But when we start exporting energy to other states, when we start exporting energy to other countries, that's a whole lot of opportunity that puts us in an even better position to enact the largest tax cut in history of New York State. We also have to bring spending under control. It's increased by tens of billions of dollars over the course of these last few years to fund far left priorities that pander to, in many cases, people who aren't even legally in the country. Instead of rewarding and incentivizing that kind of bad behavior, we should start prioritizing law-abiding, hardworking, blue-collar, middle-income New Yorkers again. That's my priority.
I got about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Who's the final say on the mask mandate in New York City? Is it the governor or the mayor? And will you lift it?
Well, fortunately, they just came out with a lifting of the mask mandate for toddlers. That's great. But I would use every power that I possibly had as governor of the state of New York to make sure that we don't have any more COVID mandates of any sorts, whether it's vaccine passports, it's vaccine mandates where you get the shot or you're fired, mask mandates. They all need to end on day one if they don't end before then.
So all of them, and even if Eric Adams wants to keep them, you're going to do this from Albany?
To the fullest extent that I possibly can. I could see this ending up in court, to be honest.
Well, look, it's been terrible. There are people that have lost their jobs and their businesses. There are some companies that won't let their employees come back. Even 2 years on, I mean, we need action. We really do, and we need it from Albany.